Who's the most important player on Melbourne United's roster? I feel like a lot of people are going to say Chris Goulding.
Melbourne by 6. Goulding turns the corner. Bright lights. Big city. Chris Goulding.
Or they're going to say Milton Doyle.
5 to work with. Guarded by Bannon. Here is Milton Doyle's moment.
Or even a guy like Shea Illy.
Illy got a hand in the passing lane and look at the hustle. Came up with it.
But I want to throw another name into the hat, and that's Fabijan Krslovic. Okay, maybe most important is a little bit exaggerated, but over the last couple of years, what has every NBL championship team had? An elite starting 5, elite defense, and at least 1 or 2 really solid players coming off the bench. And Fab ticks those boxes. He comes onto the floor, plays elite defense 3 through 5, and can switch onto a guard if absolutely need be. He'll knock down shots when he's open, and he'll do those little 1% things that don't show up in the box score, but absolutely win you games. Now, am I biased? Maybe a little bit. He played for Sandringham in the offseason, so I got to commentate most of his games where he shot the ball over 50% and won a championship with the Sabres. But if he can do that at that level, what can he do at NBL level? We've seen him be a really key piece for the Jack Jumpers the last couple of years, but even just a couple of games into his Melbourne United career, he's already taken that to the next level. Still don't believe me? Watch some of these clips. So Krslovic is the backup 5 for Melbourne United. He's playing all of his time as the backup centre, basically playing almost every second that Jesse Edwards is off the floor for Melbourne. And this is immediately following a free throw. Magne's on the floor, and they're immediately going to give him the ball, guarded by Krslovic, and he's immediately going to attack. But Krslovic, despite being undersized, just knows the positioning and can hold his own. So Magne doesn't have as much of an advantage as he thinks. And again, in the second quarter here, Krslovic guarding Magne. They clear out the entire left side of the floor to allow Magne to go to work. Krslovic trusts himself. Melbourne United trust him to go 1 out. Results in another bad shot. 2 interesting things happen in this play. So Tassie are running their bench unit right now. Magne's off the floor. Josh Bannon playing the 5 alongside Majuk Deng. So they're kind of sharing that role. Krslovic is guarding Josh Bannon, and he's going to give him a wide open 3 essentially if he wants to take it. He dares the centers to shoot the 3. And this didn't just happen in this game. This is in all 3 games so far, kind of making them knock down a couple of shots before he really starts to guard. So we'll roll this clip on. Bannon catches the ball. Krslovic drops right back, even when he walks up to it, then just gets a hand up late. And he and Melbourne are willing to give up that look. They get the offensive rebound. Now Drimic drives. Krslovic, he can still protect the rim at the same level as, maybe not the same level as Edwards, but at the same level as many centers in this league. And this leads to a timeout here called by Tassie, and Vickerman has this to say. And it really is what he does. I mean, over these first 3 games, he averages 2.3 blocks, only behind Joe Luala-Chul and JaVale McGee, both starters and both genuine superstars, probably 2 of the best 4 or 5 centers in the league. And they're not all just, one-on-one drives, kind of rush shots like we saw in that last clip. Here he is getting to the position against a point guard, timing his jump perfectly, walling up, and resulting in a pretty easy block. And as this clip rolls on, he's going to get another one pretty much immediately after. Fast break situation, Krslovic hustles back, plays perfect vertical defense, comes up with the stop. Another one here, Maldonado pushing, wants to exploit the matchup. And Krslovic just reads the play. Doesn't wall up necessarily with his arms up, but he can also read where the ball is going to be released from and adjust mid-air to come up with the block. He can do more than block shots though. This is a really simple one, but look at the positioning. There's a head full of steam. Tyson Walker gets caught slightly out of position. So Fab Krslovic just comes across to cut off the play here. Rob Lowe is wide open at the 3-point line, and Rob Lowe is an elite 3-point shooter, but he recognizes that pass is almost impossible. so runs out of real estate to allow Tyson Walker to get back to his position, and it results in a turnover in the end. Another really subtle thing that he does is his body positioning and his ability to position others. So here, John Brown is running the 5 for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and Fab recognises that he has a size and strength advantage. So we'll pause it here. Owen Foxwell is about to take this shot, and Krslovic recognises that John Brown has the positioning advantage on the rebound. So what he's going to do is he's going to subtly work him under the basket so that John Brown is taken out of the play and Krslovic can get this rebound. And it's exactly what he does. This is a good transition clip to talk about more of his offense, because yes, he's known for his defense, and that's kind of what he's built on, why he was brought to this Melbourne United team. But you don't lose a whole lot of offense when he's on the floor instead of Jesse Edwards. You get a different kind of offense, but with a lot of teams running small ball 5s or having 5s that can, stretch the floor and shoot 3s, he adds that as well. One of his main jobs when he's on the floor is to get the opposition center out of the paint to create more space for the guards or for any kind of drive. So here he comes up, sets a screen on Glover, Hunter leaks off to try to protect the paint, and he knocks down the triple. In a similar vein here he is set up in the corner being guarded by Gak. He knows he's got the speed advantage on Gak, and Gak knows that he can shoot the 3, so he has to get out, beats the man to the ring, draws the foul. The final clip from this game here, he comes up, sets a screen on Illy, swings out wide for it, and then a floater. If he can hit 3s, get to the ring, and knock down that floater consistently, that's a nightmare of a matchup for any opposition center. But I think the aspect of his game that is the most important on the offense is his playmaking and decision making. So here he just makes a really nice, simple pass, results in the foul. He reads this play really nice as well. We'll pause it here. Magne is giving Krslovic way too much room, but he didn't take the 3 a couple of seconds before this, so Magne doesn't think he's going to take it. Magne has his head turned to the ball, doesn't read where his man is. Daniels is going to pass this ball over to Bowen. Nice pass. Magne draws all the attention. Krslovic just dives in and gets an easy play. Reads the play really well. Okay, I lied. There's one more clip from this Breakers game, but this is a good one. Reads the play perfectly, knows that the ball's going to be rebounded on the left side, gets his way from the right to the left to create the offensive rebound, and eventually another and one for his team. Another thing that he's done really well this year is offensive rebounding, and a lot of them are just, him being in the low block and being ready. But if he doesn't have the best position to actually pull down the offensive rebound, he does things like this. The classic center move of just tipping it out, kind of refreshing the play. None of the stuff that I just showed in those clips was at all fancy or pretty. It was just the little things that a team needs to win championships. A couple of other stats. Over Melbourne's 3 wins, they are plus 56. They have won those games by a total of 56 points. Fab Krslovic, in his 57 minutes across those games, is plus 51 himself. Next closest on the team is actually Kyle Bowen at plus 43. Of the starters, Tyson Walker is number 1 at plus 41. So while you might not necessarily notice it, when Fab is on the floor, Melbourne are at their best. Statistically speaking, at least.